So actually, if you can make bus journey times shorter, you actually get more people using the bus. And it seems to be that that is the main reason why people haven't been using the buses, because there's more traffic on the roads. There's maybe been less priority for the bus. And so people's perception is that, I'm not going to get to work on time if I get the bus. And so if they can afford to, they're getting other modes of transport instead. I mean, there are other reasons why people might not want to get the bus. Some people perceive it as a bit noisy, a bit too crowded for them, or just kind of, not for me. But the key element, I think, here in kind of improving the number of people who are using the bus in London is to actually make those journey times shorter.
Sorry. I mean, the point you make about perception, I suppose I would say that would be a reason why some people might never use the bus. It's not a reason why people who already use it would stop using it, because I would imagine that hasn't changed. So, in terms of ridership declining, I don't know. I mean, the other change, obviously, you focused on speed. I think you think that's the primary reason. I don't know whether you've looked at, because obviously there's been over that same time period a big increase in private hire vehicles, sort of particularly the sort of app-based, call upon demand type. I don't know whether that's a possible factor as well as an alternative form of transport that's quite new and might be competing for some of those journeys.
I think it's possible that that private hire vehicles are competing for some of those journeys, but those private hire vehicles are also creating more vehicles on the road, which is slowing down bus journeys. So I think it works both ways. But certainly, if you've been a bus user for a long time and you've noticed that it's taking longer, your bus journey is taking longer than it used to, if you can afford to, you might consider taking another mode of transport. But of course, there is quite a captive market on the bus in terms of people on lower incomes, and some people who use the bus because it's the only form of transport they can afford to take. And so whether the bus is slow or fast, they have to use that mode of transport.
Okay, and I don't know, another form of transport obviously competes with bus. Personally, I don't use buses very often because I can normally get there in half the time on my bike. And obviously there's been a big increase in cycling. So I don't know whether that's another group of people who maybe have switched mode from bus to cycling. I don't know if there's evidence on that. So I'll come to you in a second, Silviya. I think I can see you nodding. So I think, I don't know whether, sorry, Emma, whether there's evidence that you have on that or about that.
I don't have any data for that one, no, but Silviya might do.
Okay, yes, Silviya, I don't know whether you wanted to say anything both about the plateauing and the decline and also about what the reasons for that might be, the pre-pandemic.
I don't have specific data on that, apologies, but what I meant to say is that outside London, a big factor for people using buses is convenience, taking them to places where they want to go, frequency, reliability, and affordability, of course. And a big benefit, and why London has been given as an example in the National Bus Strategy, is because these factors are mostly in place in London. In Outer London, I feel there's perhaps gaps in provision and frequency that need to be filled, and hopefully some of the changes with the Bus Action Plan will address this. But I feel that London is much further ahead, especially with fares being low and the bus hopper fare. Yes, perhaps it is about new forms of mobility, but that shouldn't be seen as necessarily a bad thing. But we should be attracting many more people away from the private car towards buses and other greener modes to travel.
Thanks, Chair.